And we look just here in the Northeast and look at some of the places specifically that these have been spotted. We're talking about Picatinny Arsenal Military Base, a very sensitive place. Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. We look over here, we see Naval Weapons Station, Earl, Joint Base, McGuire, Dix, Lake Kursk. And what we worry here is when we have Kirby come out and Mayorkas, they've never lied to us about anything, but when they come out and say, we don't know what these are, well, that discredits the safest and best theory right now, which is that this is U.S. testing what our capabilities are, what our defense mechanisms are. So those two things go against each other, and that leaves us all wondering either that the government doesn't know or they're not telling us the truth.
This is my video update on this Sunday afternoon, December the 15th, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with a quick update on what is going on the front lines in Ukraine. The update is that Kurakhovo, the very important city town of Kurakhovo, is about to be captured by the Russian military. The Russian military, they raised a Russian flag, the Russian flag, in Kurakhovo on the administration building in the western part of the city. And so the Ukraine military is trying to retreat, from what I understand, from this area. But the Zelensky regime is not letting them. They are not giving them the orders for an orderly retreat out of Kurakhovo. And there's actually an area in Kurakhovo on the southern part, on the outskirts of Kurakhovo, the area of Anovka, where a cauldron has formed. And I was watching Levan Gudadzie's channel this morning, and he mentioned that, citing Russian media sources, that 700 Ukrainian troops have been trapped in this cauldron south of Kurakhovo in Anovka, and they have requested, according to Russian media, 8 times to retreat from this area. And each time that they've requested the order to retreat, they have been denied. And now you have 700 Ukrainian soldiers trapped in a cauldron. So Medvedev was speaking at the United Russia Party Congress. And during his speech, of which he is the head of the United Russia Party, and in his speech, Medvedev hinted at Russia incorporating more territories outside of the new 4 territories, Zaporozhye, Kherson, Donetsk, and Lugansk. Medvedev said in his speech that the experience of incorporating these 4 new territories into the Russian Federation will serve Russia well for future territories that are going to enter the Russian Federation. This is Medvedev's quote: "This experience may be in demand in the future if new regions very close to us appear in our country, because this is possible." An interesting statement, hint from Medvedev. In Kursk, we have the update from none other than the Green Goblin himself that North Korean troops are fighting in Kursk. This is what Zelensky said in a statement on X. Just when you thought we were done with the North Korean troops narrative, I was saying this yesterday, we're done with the North Korean troops propaganda. Nope, Zelensky brought it up on an X post. He said, preliminary data indicates that Russia has begun using a significant number of North Korean soldiers in its assaults. These troops are being integrated into combined units and deployed in operations within the Kursk region. For now, their involvement is limited to this area, but there is information suggesting they may be used on other fronts as well. Losses among these North Korean troops are already noticeable. In fact, Moscow has dragged yet another state into this war and done so to the fullest extent. And if this is not escalation, then what is the escalation so many have talked about? It is Putin who takes steps to expand and prolong this war, pushing the possibility of peace further away. And if you believe that Zelensky actually wrote this ex-post, well, then I've got this thing to sell you. Yeah, that post was all Zelensky. It was all Zelensky, that post. Oh, man. So yeah, propaganda, full propaganda, this ex-post. But we do have the first images of North Korean troops in Kursk. Yeah, you know, I've been going on and on about the fact that we've seen no videos or photos, images of North Korean troops fighting in Kursk. 10,000 troops, 15,000 troops. Some reports claim 100,000 troops, yet not one soldier has been captured. Nothing. For the last 6 months that this North Korean troops in Kursk narrative has been going on, not one North Korean soldier has been captured. Not one photo. It's like trying to find Bigfoot. But now we have the first images. And they're very much like those images when I was young. I remember those images of Bigfoot walking through the forests of the United States, of Canada, Sasquatch. Yeah, I remember those images. We've got something very similar to those images, maybe even worse than those images of Bigfoot back in the day. So take a look at the proof, the undeniable proof that there are North Korean soldiers in Kursk. And this is coming from Visegrad 24. Breaking. First video of the North Korean army launched mass assaults across open terrain towards Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region. Later videos show the Ukrainian army obliterating the clueless North Koreans. They're clueless. It's the first time their army goes into battle in 70 plus years. Not only are they in Kursk, but they're clueless in Kursk. Sleepless in Seattle, clueless in Kursk. Those clueless North Korean troops. Yeah, Baraskivi. So, yeah. Did you guys see the North Korean troops in the video? It's not Clown World, by the way. This is Visegrad 24, which is a very reputable news source on X. Very reputable. And yeah, they've got the proof. This video is making the rounds, by the way. Pro-Ukrainian news outlets are posting this everywhere as proof that there are indeed North Korean troops, clueless North Korean troops in Kursk. Yeah, I saw the video, and it's crystal clear that those are North Korean troops. Crystal clear. No doubt about it. That video is very, very detailed in exposing the clueless North Korean presence in Kursk. Absolutely. There you have it. There you have it, everyone. We thought it was just propaganda. Nope, not propaganda. You're seeing it first on this channel. Well, Visegrad 24 published it, but I'm reporting it first on YouTube. I think, maybe not. But yeah, North Korean troops in Kursk. So Zelensky is now saying, you know, here they are, the North Korean troops in Kursk. What are you going to do about it, West? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to put boots on the ground? Come on now. Russia's expanding the war. Collective West, Ukraine hasn't expanded the war. No, it's Russia that's expanding the war. So what is the Collective West going to do about it? Come on, Macron. What are you, chicken? Are you chicken, Macron? Come on, McFly. McFly Macron. So Getty Images, they posted an image, because that's what they do. They're Getty Images, of Ukraine military equipment with a white square in the Chernihiv region, which is a region in the north of Ukraine, very close to Belarus and very close to Russia, Bryansk, which is close to Kursk. And the Ukraine military equipment has the tactical sign of a square on it. Now, before the Kursk, I believe before the Kursk incursion, the vehicles that were being shown in the area had a triangle, if I'm not mistaken. So many people are speculating that perhaps Syrsky and the Ukraine military are gearing up for an incursion into either Bryansk, Russia, or Belarus. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Talk about doubling and tripling down on failure. It does sound like something Napoleon Zelensky would, the military mastermind known as Zelensky. I don't want to take away Macron's Napoleon title. The military Churchillian mastermind of Zelensky. It does sound like something he would do. It really does. As things go really bad for Ukraine on all fronts. What do you do if you're Zelensky? You try to come up with another diversion and distraction. That's what you do, even if it's at the expense, at the cost of your military and your soldiers and your men. Zelensky doesn't really care too much about things like that. The Collective West that controls Zelensky doesn't really care too much about things like that. The New York Times is reporting that Zelensky was going to sign a minerals, natural resources minerals deal with the Biden administration to allow the Biden administration and the Collective West companies to go into Ukraine and to take lithium and other minerals from Ukraine at rock bottom prices. Everything must go. Rock bottom prices on lithium. Everything must go. That's the deal that Zelensky was about to sign with the Biden White House. And the New York Times is reporting that Zelensky, he delayed the deal because he wants to sign it with the Trump administration. Kiev delayed minerals deal with U.S. to let Trump take credit. New York Times reports. Ukraine, home to large deposits of critical minerals, including cobalt, graphite, and lithium, planned to sign the deal with U.S. President Biden. U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal announced plans for the deal in August 2024 after their visit to Kiev. Ukrainian authorities then twice delayed signing the agreement, the NYT said, citing officials on both sides of the negotiations. The delays offer the opportunity for the Trump administration to claim an early victory at the start of his term. This war is about money, Graham told Fox News in November. Yeah, I remember that statement from Lindsey Graham, where he started talking about the lithium and the minerals in Ukraine. What was the amount that he put it at? Something like 3 trillion or 4 trillion in natural resources are in Ukraine, and the U.S. has to get to these natural resources. So now the New York Times is reporting that Zelensky was going to sign this twice. I believe they said twice with the Biden White House, and they delayed it. And they kept on delaying it in anticipation that Trump was going to win. And now they want to sign this deal with Trump. So that's the news from the NYT. Biden is planning a last-minute Ukraine arms surge, according to CNN. The U.S. administration aims to boost arms supplies to Kiev before President-elect Trump takes office, a source has told the outlet. And where is it here? The surge of weapons to Ukraine is going to be historic, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. A historic effort to move massive quantities of weapons into Ukraine in the next 5 weeks. Washington reportedly plans to deliver hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds, thousands of rockets, hundreds of armored vehicles, and other critical capabilities between now and January 20th, when Trump returns to the White House. According to the source, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is leading an interagency effort to facilitate the deliveries. In November, he directed Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to accelerate the movement of various arms, including armored vehicles and missiles. Is this going to be Biden's final 10% for the big guy act? His final 10% for the big guy transfer of weapons to Ukraine? A massive surge of weapons to the Zelensky regime, which is going to make zero difference to the outcome of the war. Zero difference. But it's going to mean a lot of money for the MIC. Get rid of all the weapons, get the new contracts in place to replace and replenish those weapons and replenish the U.S.'s weapons inventories and stockpiles. All good for the MIC, all good for Biden, all good for Sullivan. What's it going to do? In the war in Ukraine, it's not going to make a difference. Going to complicate things for Trump, which is also something that Biden is working on, making it very difficult for the Trump administration on January 20th when it takes office. So let's talk about what is happening in Syria with the Russian military. They are talking to the HTS terrorists who are backed by Turkey, controlled by Turkey. So Russia's talking to Turkey, basically. Russia's talking to Turkey. And the reports were that the Russian bases in Syria were going to stay for the time being. They were not going anywhere, but we are now getting reports, and I was talking about this yesterday, but we are getting reports that Russia is rapidly packing up military equipment at bases in Syria. So there's a lot of analysis and speculation as to what is going on. Is Russia just packing up some of their military equipment, but the bases are going to stay with Turkey, Erdogan's approval? Or is Russia, even though they're going to get Erdogan's approval, because that's the way it looks, Erdogan is going to allow those bases to stay, even though they have the approval of Turkey, Russia has decided that it's best to get out. Why give Erdogan leverage over you? So the signs point to Russia getting out. And Alexander was talking about this on his video update yesterday. And I believe the fact that Russia is disassembling and packing up their air defense systems, also helicopters and military equipment like that, is a telltale sign that Russia has made the decision to leave the military bases in Syria. I can't possibly see how you can have these bases in Syria without proper air defense. Doesn't make any sense. So I think the fact that the air defense systems are leaving is an indication that in the next month or so, Russia's going to be leaving the bases in Syria. So let's do a clown world and we will wrap this video up. Should we talk about the drone invasion? The drone invasion of the United States, of New Jersey? Everyone is talking about the drones. Just like they were talking about the China balloons. Copy, paste, rinse, repeat. Is a psyop, right? Of course it's a psyop. Of course it's a psyop. Come on, man. Come on. There are a lot of theories about what's going on. Let me read you two posts on X. The first one's from Kobus Swart, who says, this is a psyop, in and out. I have been tracking flights in and out of New York, New Jersey region while these drones were in the sky, and not a single airspace alert or diversion was issued for flights passing overhead. If the U.S. government suspected foreign controlled, possibly hostile drones, they would have cleared the airspace in minutes, and military aircraft would have intercepted them. This is a psyop to divert your attention away from the massive regime change effort being fomented in Syria, Georgia, Romania, Turkey, Belarus, and Ukraine. That makes sense. What do you think? That makes sense? Yeah, that makes sense. It's a diversion, a distraction. Absolutely. From Wyatt, the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 expires on December 20th of this year. So the federal government is literally using a terrorism drone mystery psyop against you to manipulate Congress into passing the new HR 8610 Counter UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act of 2024, which will include appropriations and enhanced government powers to control you. And they're even going so far as to use it to push for acts of war against other countries. That also makes sense. Both of these posts on X could be true. Why not? Two things could be true at the same time. A psyop to distract away from everything that the U.S. is up to around the world, and also a psyop meant to grant the government more power. I'm not very familiar with the Reauthorization Act, but if it's set to expire on December 20th, then why not launch a few hundred drones into the night skies of New Jersey and scare people into agreeing with this new authorization, with the renewal of this authorization act, which will grant the United States more surveillance and whatever type of powers this thing grants them: security, safety, surveillance, enhanced government powers. Sure, why not? One thing's for sure: these drones are not Iranian drones, they're not Russian drones, they're not Chinese drones, that's for sure. And the other thing that's definite is that the Biden White House, the Pentagon, they don't want to say what these drones are. They know what these drones are. Absolutely, they know what these drones are doing, but they don't want to say. They refuse to say what these are, and they let the media run their stories about the drones invading the United States. It's gotten to the point where people are seeing airplanes in the night skies, and they're filming the airplanes, saying that those are drones as well. So it's got everyone, not everyone, it's got a lot of people freaking out a bit. Just like the China balloons. Is this going to be a yearly occurrence? That's what I'm wondering. What comes next year? We've got the balloons, we've got the drones. What is it next year? I don't know. So Salome Zurabichvili, she posted on X after she was removed as president. Her term ended and a new president was voted in. She posted on X, jailed, Christmas tree in front of the parliament, mayor inviting children, government calling supporters at 7 p.m. to light the tree at the exact place and time when protesters meet every day for 17 days. Big time provocation from the ruling party to create confrontation. That last part is in all caps. So Salome Zurabichvili, the French-born, French citizen president of Georgia, former ex-president of Georgia, who refuses to leave. She still refuses to step down as president. She was upset yesterday that as she was calling for violent protests against the vote of the new president, that the government, the city of Tbilisi, they decided to put up the Christmas tree in the square where the protests were going to take place. And she's saying that this is a provocation. That Christmas tree is a provocation, a big time. A big time is what she says, provocation. Wow, that Christmas tree. They're weaponizing Christmas trees. Man, that is sinister. That Georgia dream is one sinister party weaponizing Christmas trees. Man, preventing the peaceful, lovable, cuddly protesters from getting out onto the streets and gently calling for democracy in Georgia. How dare Georgia Dream weaponize the Christmas tree? Funny thing is that underneath this post from Zurabichvili, people on X let her know that every year, Georgia, Tbilisi, they put up the Christmas tree at the same exact spot at pretty much the same exact time. So nothing new with what is going on in Georgia by putting up the Christmas tree in the main square in front of the parliament, and people even included photos from previous years of the Christmas tree at that same exact spot. It is, after all, Christmas time, Salome Zurabichvili. Just so you know, nothing strange about putting up a Christmas tree during Christmas time. What Georgia Dream should do is they should tell Zurabichvili to just cut it out. Stop causing trouble. Come on, Zurabichvili. Just stop causing trouble. Go to France. Go back home to France. Get your job at the WEF and enjoy them bugs, right? That's what Georgia Dream should do. That's what they should tell her. It's over. It's over. We got a new president. Your regime change, for now, has failed. But don't underestimate the EU and the globalists. They never stop. They will never stop trying to regime change Georgia Dream. But for now, buy Zurabichvili a one-way ticket to France and tell her to go to her next post, which will be at the World Bank or the IMF or the WEF as Klaus Schwab's assistant director to bug recipes, to cooking bugs. Anyway, that's the video. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch like what I am wearing today in this video update. And like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Help me get to 215,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Take care.